elated to be back on CenterKick's Weekend Review. And always, we have with us in the studio, AJ.
Pleasure to have you back, winner. Pleasure to have everyone back as well. We saw what happened during the weekend. Of course, yesterday, which I think can still count as the weekend, as Nigeria Super Eagles lost for the first time at home in a long while. And also, we saw Nigerian Premier Football League matches take center stage. And so, it's been a very busy Saturday, Sunday, and Monday evening in terms of Nigerian football. And as always, we love it, and that's why we're here. So, love it to be back here.
All right, it's so good to be back. Like we said, okay, so let me have first a quick general review of the NPFL matches. Yeah, across all board, we had 10 games, different centers. Your disappointment, were your anticipation being cut short?
Well, I always love drama. I think, I'll be honest, of all the game weeks we've had in the NPFL this season, coming from a very honest point of view, this was the one that I had my least participation in media. You know why?
Yes,
because Super Eagles were around. And we were, running around trying to do exactly what was needed to be done for the Super Eagles, attending trainings, photos, videos, interviews. Yeah. Everyone was just everywhere. And, we had the concentration of the who's who in Nigerian football media, in Uyo, at the Nest of Champions, to get the latest information out there for everybody in Nigeria to know what's going on. Yeah. So, you can't really be in two places. But I still tried my best and I was able to be in two places, per se. So I can say that from the little I do know, we had 3 blockbuster games on Sunday. We had a traditional tie where Pillars were at home at Sani Abacha Stadium for the first time at home this season, hosting Heartland. That was a big game. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Same thing with Bendel against Rangers at the Cathedral. Big game as well. Yes, that's the third big game. I was heading to that one. And, these were the biggest games. But I will tell you the game that stood out for me and for most people online and around Nigeria was the game between Shooting Stars and Ikorodu City away in Onikon, of course, in Lagos. A proper Southwest derby. For me, I like calling it a Yoruba derby, obviously because, Yoruba as a tribe that popularly, dominates the Southwest in Nigeria. Unfortunately, it was the controversies before and, building up to the game that really put the game in the limelight. And I think Ikorodu City faithfuls and Shooting Stars fans also made the game a big one because last season it would have been Sporting against, Shooting Stars, but this season it's Ikorodu, and City against.
Always see how Sporting Lagos feature there because, we'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm talking about this season, and in the last game week, it was Ikorodu against Shooting Stars, and regardless of the full-time result, I think it's bad that it was controversial and it was negative, but as far as it was in the news, I think that's good enough to put the NPFL back there in the limelight.
For a personal opinion, I would say it was still it was a combination of, for me, Sporting Lagos and Ikorodu City playing against Shooting Stars.
No, we'll get to that point. Don't worry.
We'll get there.
Sporting Lagos and Ikorodu have issues.
We'll get there. All right, let's start with the first match of the NPFL Week 12. We had Akwa United playing against National United. Yes, at the Nest of Champions.
Saturday afternoon football. I would have wanted it to be Saturday night football because of, I'm not sounding different, but the Super Eagles were training at the time that Akwa had the game. But the Akwa game started by 4. Super Eagles training started by 5-ish. In the evening, but all in all, I think it was still okay. Akwa, I'm not going to lie. It's an honest review, and you might think, okay, because it's Akwa United's Nest of Champions, you might say a thing in favor of the home side. Nothing in home side favor. I think Akwa didn't play well at all. They played a terrible game, and that's the reality. That's what happens every time.
I feel like that has been the trajectory.
That's what's been going on this season. Yeah. And if you ever understand what it means that you're just so lucky in the game not to lose. That was the definition of being lucky. You know why? Because they had so many chances to score, but they couldn't. And then you understand what it's like to have a game go on, and you see certain loopholes that tells you that this team is really struggling this season. It was there in that game. For Akwa, time and time again, missing passes, missing communications. The goal that was scored by Akwa was scored by, a defensive miscommunication. Okay, let's not say miscommunication. The goalkeeper went for the ball. Galadima went for the ball. And it was Paul Akwa of Akwa who went to go score. He headed it in. So if that brief moment of miscommunication or misinterpretation or there's a confusion didn't happen between the keeper and the ball, it would have ended goalless. Mind you as well, Akwa had a red card. You might say, it's impressive that they held on, but you should not be doing that in your home ground. Never. It was Ruben Bala who got the red card, subbed on into the game, fun enough. Red card, subbed on, red card, sent off. It's quite disappointing that he was brought on to execute a game plan, but he was sent off. They had to hold on. And I tell you that ever since that record got awarded, Nasarawa pressed and pressed, but they couldn't. I think, unfortunately for them, it couldn't happen. And as it was, frustrated, it was sobbed off in the game as well. But that's the summary. Aqua, I would say it was a lucky game for the Promise Keepers.
Heartland pulled off a hard one against Kano Pillars, a draw 2-2.
Heartland are now unbeaten in the last 4 visits to Kano Pillars. I think that's single-handedly one of the best runs away at the hands of Kano Pillars. It's not easy to get a single point away at Pillars. 2 draws and 2 losses. Sorry, 2 draws and 2 wins in that period. It's simply impressive. So, 2 goals from a single player, Suraj for Heartland, lovely. But for Kano Pillars, it's as always. I'm just loving it that when the signings were made, when this was confirmed that Musa was coming back to Kano Pillars, I said it that it was going to be a 2-man show. Rabi Ali and Ahmed Musa, and they've shown it.
Okay.
They've shown it. Ahmed Musa scored, and Rabi Ali scored again.
Yeah.
And now, could you imagine that at 44 years, Rabi Ali is the leading top-scoring midfielder in the NPFL this season? You know why?
Impressive.
Because in the game after Nasarawa against Aqua, we spoke to Anas Yusuf, and Anas Yusuf told us he's not a midfielder.
Okay.
He's actually a striker.
Wow.
But because of the way that the Nasarawa United play,
okay,
you think he's a midfielder.
Okay.
I saw the game. That's the first time I watched him live this season.
Because we've had
he never stays in number 10, but she's everywhere.
Okay.
You see him as false 9 winger. It's just that the position he plays as a winger in football, you're called a forward. You can also be called a midfielder. If you play FPL, you find out that Palmer, Saka, they're called midfielders.
Yeah.
And that's the exact same thing as well. So he's an attacking player. He's not a midfielder. He can play as a winger, as a false 9. So Anas Yusuf is not exactly a midfielder, but Rabi Ali is a blown-out midfielder, and he's got 7 goals this season. That's more than remarkable. And then for Ahmed Musa, 5 goals, 2 assists, 3 penalties won this season, 7 goal contributions in 8 games, and 10 goal involvement in 8 games. My word, I run out of words to describe how evergreen Ahmed Musa is in the Nigerian League this season. They say he's finished. That's why he came back. He's not finished. Mm-hmm. Because if you think he's finished, come and play in the league. Let's see.
It could still be a starting point for him.
No, I'm talking about people saying, he's finished. That's why he came to play the NPFL. If the league is that simple, then please come and play in the league. Let's see if it's that simple for you. Because people make it look like the league is so easy, but you see it season after season, we struggle to have people go past 20 goals. Okay. And top scorers. Till now, the record for a top scorer is 23 goals in 2014. If the league is that simple, then why don't you come play and see if it's that simple? So I think Ahmed Musa, Rabi Ali, thumbs up to them. They're always remarkable. And then for Heartland, please let's take this one a moment to say congratulations to Amunike. Yeah. First 3 games winless for Emmanuel Amunike. I think it was first 4 games. It was first 4 games. Yes, winless. They said, this is the man that they wanted to carry to the Super Eagles camp to be coach. And then he calmed down. Okay. And now, can you imagine his last 8 games? Amunike has just 1 loss. And he's unbeaten his last 4.
Impressive.
It's impressive, and that's what patience can get you. I remember talking to Fidelis Ilechu. He was surprised as well that Amunike decided to come back to the NPFL with Heartland. Listen, if Amunike, a name that Amunike should come back to the NPFL, it could be Aimba, Remo, Rivers. For Heartland, with all respect to Heartland, with the massive history that they have, Heartland is a massive club when it comes to archive football, records, but recently, Heartland is not Heartland anymore. But he's managed to coin that image out for them again. And I'm just so, I saw it again, but I'm just so impressed with what Amunike has done. And that was a remarkable result, 2-2 away at the Sani Abacha Stadium. And by the way, let's mention that was the first game Pillars had at home this season at a sold-out 25,000 fans made their way down to that stadium in Kano to watch. You saw the pictures, the videos. They were shouting when Rabi Ali scored the goal, the free kick goal. He scored a free kick, by the way. Yeah. And so, it was electric to have the fans return in the game. So I would say that was a massive game as well.
Your take on Bayelsa United against Katsina. It ended in a draw 1-1.
I don't know how it happens in the Nigerian League often. A manager and a team can be struggling, but when the hierarchy come out and say 3-match ultimatum, all of a sudden lives are on the line. Yeah, that's what happened for Ikorodu. They started playing after the ultimatum was given to them, and for Bayelsa, it was not confirmed. It was some speculations in the media, but I know it was confirmed because it would not be posted if it was not there. Ladamboso was given an ultimatum, speculated. Let's keep it like that, speculated.
But there's no smoke without the fire.
Yes. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, he beat Rivers, ended their 91-game unbeaten run in Port Harcourt.
I was shocked.
And then after that, held Katsina to a 1-1 draw. He's now unbeaten in 2 games in a 3-match ultimatum. meaning he escaped his job, I feel. So impressive for Bielsa. Katina, Katina United is now 5 games without a win in the NPFL. It's a terrible form for the Changi boys. I honestly don't know, from losing a 34-game unbeaten run to 5 games unbeaten run, 5-game winless run now in the NPFL. Troubled waters now for Katina. I don't know where they can go, but summary, disappointing for Katina, impressive for Bielsa United.
Let's go back to what we've been talking along from the start of this review. Ikorodu City playing at home against Shooting Stars. Review with not necessarily a last-minute win for the team, but he put up quite an impressive performance for the team.
I love how Ikorodu have kept the culture of Lagos football in the NPFL, but Sporting relegated. Before the game, they were pushing an agenda that it's going to be a big game. I went online and said it's not an agenda. Because no matter what you say, nothing Ikorodu have is even close to a tiny quarter of what Shooting Stars have achieved. That's the oldest club in the NPFL, Shooting Stars. That's the most interesting and intriguing club in the Nigerian League. They've not won record titles, but they have been there since 1950s.
At least
they've been there. So they've won titles, they've won FA Cup upon FA Cup, they've won continental titles upon continental titles, they've won league titles. So they can never be a comparison. But when it comes to a Southwest derby, Lagos, Yoruba derby, okay, allow it. And I think Ikorodu City lives up to the hype. They beat Shooting Stars. It's not easy to beat Shooting Stars. And I will say congrats to them. Even if there's so much talk behind the scenes as to what should have happened, what didn't happen, Dark Arts, Ikorodu City. I said it online that if it was Dark Arts, there's a return leg. And we'll see what happened in the return leg. And I'm tuned in for that.
Elkanemi Warriors, a win over Niger Tornadoes, 1-0.
That's how it should be done, Rivers United. When you lose an unbeaten run, you don't lose the next game again. That's going to be banter.
2 straight loss for Rivers United.
Yes, and winless in 3 now.
Unbelievable.
From unbeaten in 9 to winless in 3. That's how fast football can be. I'm not shading Finidi George, but that's how the NPFL can be. Your eye can clear anytime soon. So for Elkanemi Warriors, they lost their unbeaten run away, in Shooting Stars last weekend, losing by 3 goals to 0. I didn't see it coming. Even if they're going to lose 1 goal to 0, okay. But they lost scandalously by 3 goals to 0. They came back against Tornadoes. Mind you, before they came against Tornadoes, they had not beaten Tornadoes in 3 league outings. They came back, took the form away. And again, to tell you that I was scared that Elkanemi were going to reciprocate Rivers' form. Tornadoes had the most points away in the NPFL. 8 points, but joined with Rivers. Heading into that game, yes. Okay. So I felt it was going to end as a draw or a win for them, given that they are also very good away from home. But Elkanemi showed that they are a good team, defending FA Cup champions, won by 1 goal to 0. That's how you bounce back from a record-shattering loss away from home. And we've not talked about Rivers Remo yet, but I'm coming for that game.
Yeah, let's talk about Enugu Rangers against Bendel Insurance. The funny thing is that the last time Electrical was not around, we saw them suffer a defeat. But this time, I feel that he has been able to prove a point. His other coaching staffs are able to be on form.
I love Fidelis Ejiku for one thing. Electrical is such a nice manager, such a good manager. Yeah. And listen, I was talking to him when he was here for the game against Aqua, and he told me first of all that obviously we know the story of our loss of Coach Christian Obi at the start of the season, and he was like, he cannot go to Kwara United without going to pay homage to Christian Obi, late Christian Obi. So he said 2 things. He will let his technical team take charge of the game against Kwara United in Lorraine, so that he can see if they can handle issues when he's away with the Super Eagles, and that he wants to trust them, so that he doesn't have that issue that happened against Pillars happen again. Now he said they will go handle that game by themselves, and then he would double tax. He would trust them to handle the game, follow the game from home, and then go attend the burial, pay respect one last time to the late Christian Obi, who was being buried on Thursday. I think the game was on Saturday, and that was Thursday. And he needed to rest as well. Remember, that was when he came back from Libya. So he needed to rest. He was sick in that game against Aqua, but he still had to come because he needed to prove he don't want anybody to say, because Electrico is not around, that's why they're losing. So he dragged himself to the game against Aqua. I tell you, I was in the hotel after the game against Aqua. He was not okay, and he had to rest. So he's now trusted his technical team, and they're now stringing results slow by steady. Rangers against Bender is a big game. It's a huge game.
And it was not just their regular 1-0 scoreline or 1-1.
Yes, last time they scored 3, they lost 4-3. But this time they won 3-2. Now, let me take your mind back down memory lane. Bender are the 2nd oldest club in the NPFL. Rangers are the 3rd oldest club in the Nigerian League. So that tells you this game has been played time and time again when our fathers were, when we were not even born back then. It's a huge game. Bendel against Rangers. So it's a massive game. And last season, this was the game that crowned Rangers champion. And you saw that Bendel came out to fight and show that they will not be beaten twice back to back, but it will not happen. So let me first of all start from the Rangers side. Impressive. I think that's how many games down for Rangers? Just one loss. That's one loss in 7 games now for Rangers, if I'm not mistaken. I think 6 or 7. But that's one loss alone. Okay. And they've been able to string in some positive results ever since losing to Pillars at home. But for Bendel, there's no script here. It's terrible for Bendel Insurance. The Bendel fans have been everywhere on social media. And I love that they're bringing it to social media. You know, normally it will just be an inside discussion thing, but they're bringing it there. I hope that the Bendel Insurance media, the club, is online to see what's going on. The fans are begging. They love Monday Odigi, but they need the hands to be changed. Yeah. Nothing is working for them. I think that's how many games now without a win? 4, is it? I think it's 4 games, 5 games and just 1 win. So in summary, terrible form for Bendel, but remarkable peak in form for Rangers. Superb win, and that's how they're in the top 5 of the league table.
I'm still going to say this, and I'm still going to stand by it. I feel Electrical Rangers is a team that they may likely defend this title. I know I've seen their game plan from last season. They didn't start well, but I saw them creeping. They were playing unnoticed the whole season, and before we knew it, they were already sitting pretty on the table. So I feel that we should still look out for Rangers because they're currently number 4. We saw them so far at the start of the season, but they're slowly picking form, and I'm hoping the best for the team. Let's move to the next game.
Hoping the best as well.
Sunshine Stars against Lobby Stars.
I had something to monitor in this game, and I'm going to be quick about it. The only thing I was monitoring the game was to see how Sunshine would adapt to life after Kennedy Boboye. In the last game week, Boboye resigned. I think he had lost 4 straight. Was it winless in 4 or something? But I know that he was in a torrid form for the winner waves, or for the career gunners as they call them. So it was his assistant who took over as interim manager. They're yet to appoint a new manager, Sunshine Stars. And he won the game 1 goal to 0. Mika Lundstrom and Amokachi combined together could not help against a managerless team, funny enough. So I think it just shows that Sunshine is a good team, but maybe a thing or two was not going the way of Boboye, so he had to be let go. And he resigned. Let's say he resigned, he was not fired. So it's good, cha. But I'm not going to make it look like Boboye is not a good manager. He's always going to be a top-class manager. Only coach to win 2 titles with 2 different teams in the Nigerian league. Respect to Kenny Boboye. But Sunshine Stars are making it look like he was a problem after all. So what can I say? Let's move on.
Abia Warriors against Eimba. A draw.
Can you imagine that Abia Warriors have won just twice against Eimba at home in 9 games? I saw the stats before the game week. And I was surprised. And funny enough, head-to-head, in the last 12 meetings, Eimba have beaten Abia Warriors 9 times now. Wow. But it would have been 10 if they won the game, though. They didn't win it. And Clifton Jefta, massive shout out to Clifton Jefta, one of the best players this season as well in the Nigerian league. He scored in that game for Eimba International. Abia Warriors, I honestly don't know why that club exists. Because it's not a derby. Okay. That's not a derby. I see people tell me, that's not a rental derby. That's just elder brothers against junior sisters. And it's not even junior brothers. Okay. Because with all due respect, the most the Abia Warriors have achieved in their history is an FA Cup final. Wow. That was last season. Nothing else on the table. No matter how you put it, Eimba will flog you home and away. With every single record. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing that they did last season, they won the Abia State FA Cup. But that's not even a major title. It's a grassroots title. Yeah. So I saw it coming. Eimba were not losing. Eimba didn't lose 1-1. Eimba now unbeaten in 4. With just 1 loss in 6 games. And the game against Rwanda yesterday, we saw Coach Yemi Olarenwaju of Eimba. Yeah. The game against Rwanda, he came to watch the game, and I love him for always doing that. He's always showing up. He came the last time again. Maybe watch and learn. Yeah. I don't know. As a coach, watch and learn. It's always.
And he came with a player the last time, Daga.
It was 2 players. Okay, Daga and Clinton Jefta. They were heading to the under 20 camp. Okay. If it's in England, you see that in a major game for the 3 Lions, coach should come out and watch the game. So that's how it should be in Nigeria. Coach should come out and watch the games as well. So I like how Yema always does that. And I think it's in top 3, right? If he's not third in the table. Third, yeah. And, remarkable form. 1 loss in 6. Unbeaten in 4. I think Eimba, it was risky to trust the Yemi Olarenwaju, who has not coached a major NPFL team before, to take over from Finidi George. Finidi is still ahead of him, Sha. But still, Eimba are the top 3. And that's okay.
Let's reserve Rivers United against Ramos for the last. Let's talk about Kwara United against Plateau United.
There's
2-0.
There's only one thing I'll point a finger onto that game, and it's the massive rise in form of Emmanuel Ogbole. 3 games now on a row, on a bounce he scored. Now, there's a reason why I'm specializing on him alone, because last season he was the top scorer in the FA Cup in the country. He won the Golden Boot Award. He was level on goals with Nasiru Salihu of El Kanemi, but he won the MVP. So Ogbole won the top scorer. And you know, when you win the top scorer in a competition, it gives people the hope that you're now going to go into the next season and hitting on all forms. And even more hope, because I can tell you from a standpoint, I'm close to the player, there were so many deals on the table for him to leave Kara United. So many deals. But he chose to stay because he's so comfortable with the environment and he wanted to build on his image. Mind you, your top scorer is just 5 goals. So he didn't want to go and go somewhere else. He wanted to stay. And he stayed. And how many games into the season? He hadn't scored a single goal. Now, that was 3 games ago. But 3 games now, 4 goals. That's massive increment in form. And now, if you were not conversant with the season, you think he's been banging all. No, it's the last 3 games. And I think the next game is another threat to look out for. For Play 2, honestly, I don't know what's going on with Play 2. They started the season like a house on fire. But now, I think they're like 17th on the table. They are 17th. And that's not where Play 2. For Play 2, ever since Electrical, or ever since Boboye won the league with Play 2, they've always been a top table team. So seeing them 17 is just weird. It's like seeing Aqua there, but Aqua are not making it normal. So I don't know. But they want to go band for band with Aqua. No problem. But Play 2, please improve yourselves. That's not the team that Electrical left as title contenders. I don't know what's going on with Play 2 United this season.
Let's wrap up with the last game for the NPFL. It wasn't necessarily the last game as being played last,
but it was the biggest game.
Remo Stars against Rivers United.
This is how they put it. League leaders against title favorites. And the thing switched. Because if it was 4 match days ago, when Rivers were unbeaten, it would have been league leaders Rivers against table toppers, against favorites Remo. You know what Remo favorites? At that time, they had the most wins. And Rivers was still unbeaten. But now, the other way around, Rivers are still poking their nose up there, second. And Remo
just
are now...
Just points difference.
Now, before that game, would you imagine, or would you know that Remo had won 20 straight games at home in all competitions? The longest straight winning streak of any Nigerian club. Straight winning streak. 20 matches. If you check their wins, their home matches, you win. Something Aqua are dreaming of, or some other things. Win. And I was like, how have we not talked about this? Ogunmodere is just silently cooking. But I knew that Rivers would pick something in that game. Ask me why. Do you know that before the last game, let's forget about this win, this goalless draw that the game ended. Before this goalless draw, they had won Rivers 2-1. That game, Frank Mawena scored, and I think another player scored. They won 2-1. Now, before those last 2 games, do you know that Remo went 9 games in the league winless against Rivers? 9 games winless against Rivers. At the point, they went 4 games winless at home. 3 straight losses in Ikene. So Rivers will always come to Ikene and flog them. Rivers will controlling Remo the same way Remo controls the Emba. So as you do person, they go do you. Understand? Emba's, prior to this game week, Emba's record against Remo, I think it's 9 games now, 6 games. That's the longest they've been unable to beat a team in the NPFL. Emba against Remo. Now Remo, their own was 9. God has now helped them. They've beaten them and now they've drawn. So they are now unbeaten in 2. But still, Rivers went to Ikene and held them goalless. That's a positive result for Rivers United, ending their winning streak. But they're still unbeaten in 21 matches now. That was a blockbuster clash. I wanted goals, but I didn't have them. But I think it shows you that at least if you did not know your top 4 this season now, or top 5, know them. In no particular order. Let's forget about the table. Rivers, Remo, Emba, Pillars, Rangers. That's your top 5. And your title winners will come from there. Mark my words. Mark my words. Your title winners will come from those 5 teams. Because they play the best football.
For Rangers, though.
I'm not saying they won't win it. I'm saying the title winner will come from there. Because they're serious.
So, are you forgetting about El Kanemi Warriors?
I think Warriors will probably wait for the FA Cup. What position are they on the table, though?
They're currently the 15 years. Rangers is 4th.
Warriors, I think Warriors just prefer draws. I don't see them go out for wins. And in as much as I'm impressed with what they're doing so far, I don't know if they can hold on for the better. Because now you lost your last away game 3-0. What makes you sure that you're not losing the next away game again? So I'm not that confident. They're going to put up a good fight for the contender places. But on the long run, until you start winning back to back games like some other clubs. Unbeaten run, draws, they will. It's not like basketball that there's no unbeaten run in basketball. It's winning streaks. In football, you're a draw and a loss. A draw and a win is unbeaten run. So El Kanemi have not really hit that winning streak on the bounce. So until they hit that, maybe I can rephrase. No, I'm not even rephrasing. My permanent statement is Aimba, Pillars, Rangers, Remo, Rivers. Title comes out from there. But we will be there if El Kanemi win the league.
All right.
Inshallah, we will be there.
All right, we will be there. We all will be there. We both will be there.
But imagine what it would be like for everyone in Medjugorje to win an FA Cup and then win an NPFL.
Beautiful.
It would be a nice story. I mean, I would love to write that story.
A dream come true.
And you know what everyone's going through in Borno. It's not easy. So to win a massive title like that would be massive for them.
It will be heartwarming. We've mentioned the top 5 teams across our discussions for today's review. Let's talk about the relegation zone teams. We have, luckily, Akwa United is just above the relegation zone. But I feel like that's like always a constant point. They may actually go back there.
They will go back there
for the next game.
Do you know they're playing next? They're playing Academy.
Oh, wow.
They're playing in Medjugorje.
So
You're not winning the game. I'm saying you're not winning the game, and I'm challenging Aqua to win the game. Because nobody will be more happy than me than if Aqua go and beat Academy at home.
At home.
See, prove me wrong, Aqua. Prove me. Let's see. You know how, who said that to Mikel? Mikel said the season against Jackson.
To Jackson,
He would tell you things to make sure he pains you. Now you go out there and prove him wrong. Aqua can't beat El Kanemi at home. They can't beat them at home. But again, I'll be so happy if Aqua beat El Kanemi in Medjugorje. So let's just watch out for that one. Anyway, that's relegation. Nigerians have bad mouths. In normal leagues, they call it relegation zone. In Nigeria, they call it the Egba zone.
Okay.
People with the Egba and then relegation.
The Egba zone. I think that's like my first time hearing that. But
you know the FT now. You're a professional.
Okay.
Now we they street for Twitter then.
Okay.
You go to hear things. Okay. They have dragged me this season now regarding one club.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It happens.
I normally thank God my name. I don't name myself after the club.
Okay.
Like certain Pride of Rivers.
Okay.
I'm impressed with Ikorodu City.
Really, really. I am.
Can you imagine Ikorodu are now 8th?
8th on the table.
Puja, Ogala Media, Sami Bambo, everyone in Lagos.
Yeah.
You're showing Sporting the way. We held you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it. My goodness. Just one loss in 6 games.
It's what they say I never experienced.
And then 4 straight wins at home on the bounce.
Yeah.
They sound like Rivers. They sound like Aimba. They sound like Remo. That's a form that puts you in the top 4. Let's see. I don't know how they did it. I'll beg, especially Mr. Sami Bam, please. The soap you're using on Ikorodu.
Yeah, please continue.
Give us. We define that kind of soap. I beg. I don't mention anyone's team, but if you mention the team, no problem.
With your full chest, say.
My chest is bottomed, and I'm Nigerian football, not Mr. Aqua football. But anyhow, it's more than impressive for Ikorodu. Yeah. Now let's talk about the relegation itself.
Bendel Insurance, the least sitting.
Yourself, you know, wait, you just rush measurement.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's bad, to see a team like Bendel there, 2-time league winners, 4-time FA Cup winners. They hold the record for the longest unbeaten run in the NPFL. A bridge season, but still it counts. 23 matches there. All these records, you should not be, and one of the oldest clubs, you should not be in that position. But then again, somebody will ask, if they should not be there, who should be there? Now your team. So,
we know.
So let's not mention who should be there. It's half footballers. But let's now talk about the teams that are actually in the MPFL relegation zone.
Yeah.
Nasarawa United, Bendel, Lobby Stars, Plateau United. See, I think football has a way of telling you what it's telling you without you not believe it. Because Lobby Stars are playing well. Plateau, well, not say what I've not seen, but Plateau. Let's just. I'm surprised that Katina are not there because Katina win winless in 5 or 4. I think it's 5. Yes, I don't know why they're not there because the MPFL, I know if you lose 2 games, you're down.
Funny part, the 4 teams just above Bendel Insurance are both sharing the same points, so it's just 12 points.
Yeah,
and it's so sad. Out of 12 games, 12 points.
Well, that's how it is. If you want to be serious, be like Remo, be like Rivers. Double your points. But I think Bendel until Monday or
9 points.
Until Monday Diggy changes something or they change Monday Diggy, it will not change.
Okay.
For Lobby, it's going to change. Give them time. For Nasarawa, I think they started exposing them little by little. Okay. But this season is all about the analysis show.
Yeah.
So if you lock down analysis, if you lock down the team, don't blame them anyway. Victor Collins was with the Super Eagles. Okay. And so maybe that's the reason why they conceded. Who knows? No. I mean, the goal was the keeper's error, so that's not an excuse. But who knows? Maybe Victor Collins would have headed a goal in. So that was on the bright side. And then for play 2, I think they might probably go down this season unless there's an improvement. Yeah. That's my take so far.
And that is it, guys, for our CenterKick weekend review. It was so nice to be here with you guys on your screen to bring you the review again of the NPFL. Please do not forget, like I have mentioned 4 times, and I'm never going to be tired of saying this. Please do also subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to follow us across all our social media handles for the latest updates from CenterKick. Thank you, and it was nice being on your screen again. I remain your host, AJ.